Welcome back to the Gridiron Goons. I'm your host, Preacher. I'm with Sean O'Mac.
Hello.
And that's Harper in the background. What's up, Harper Darper? Brandon, hey, easy Harp. Brandon is not able to make it this week.
Harper's trying to fill in for him.
Harp, you trying to fill in? Brandon's not able to be with us this week.
No, he's not.
But man, you know what? Listen, we missed last week, and I failed to make TikTok reels and Instagram reels and Facebook reels and all that stuff with the news. So we have to record. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. So Sean O'Mac, we got some news.
It's quite a bit of news.
We've got some kind of OTA news coming out. OTA's over, in that kind of lull between OTAs and training camp. Yep. And I know you know ball knowledge, right?
Yes,
you're really good at ball knowledge. We're going to test your knowledge on NFL capacities for stadiums. Later on, that's probably going to wrap up the show. But I know you're going to be tested, and it's going to be good either way. So, Sean, let's get into the news because there's a lot of things that have happened.
Yes. You want me to start it off?
Yeah, give me the good stuff.
We're going to go right to Cleveland.
To Cleveland?
Oh, I just want to send out a PSA. Shador, slow it down, man. You got to slow it down.
What happened?
He's got pulled over twice this month. The month just started. One time it was
101?
101 miles per hour. He's trying to get to minicamp, dude.
Listen, bud, that's not a problem for him. He went 144 in a 25 a couple of months ago, bud.
Crazy. Like you leave earlier, man.
I mean, listen, he's just trying to be punctual, trying to get... Listen, he probably left late. Cleveland traffic, it's terrible. It is what it is. What else is happening here, bud?
The Steelers have got them a QB1. We all knew who it was going to be, but they finally made it official. He's there. He's practicing, man.
Listen, Brandon, out there listening, watching to this episode, I owe you an apology, right? Because this is not the first time he was right. He told about the conversation we'll get in later, and then he was right about this one. He said for probably months now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and well, bud,
there he is.
He was right, and you know what? Evo's probably like, you should have believed me the first time, right?
And a little birdie said T-Bone's already ordering the jersey.
I don't know if he actually is, but it wouldn't surprise me because T-Bone really loves his bandwagons. I'm surprised he hasn't got his Detroit Lions jersey yet.
One thing I want, before we move on to the news, I want to talk about this real quick with Rodgers signing in Pittsburgh. A little bit of fantasy news.
Yes.
I love it personally because I am a DK Metcalf owner.
Mm-hmm.
And with him getting Rodgers and with them trading Pickens, I love it. His value is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, I think
him and Rodgers have been working out together.
Well, and I think for a fantasy perspective, listen, it can either go one of two ways, right? Because when Rodgers was obviously in Green Bay with all of his weapons, listen, you saw a lot of the shovel passes, his little flicks. And so Jalen Warren's going to be, and if this goes like to the actual like best case scenario, Jalen Warren's going to see better reads, better touches, screen plays, short pass yardage. His value is going to go up. DK Metcalf, his value goes up. I think we're also going to see Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson's value go up. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be definitely like your wide receiver 2 in your fantasy lineup, but they may be like a really good flex play.
What about Freiermuth?
Listen, Aaron Rodgers, he loves tight ends. Look at Jordy Nelson back in, when he was in his prime and everybody was ticking on all cylinders in Green Bay.
Yeah, but Jordy Nelson's not a tight end.
Or not, sorry. Well, sorry, not Jordan Nelson.
Michael Finley?
Yes. And then Tucker Kraft in his last season. Look, Tucker Kraft playing good. Now he's playing better. But you know what? Loves tight ends. And honestly, Aaron Rodgers, if you really think about Rodgers and what he did last year. Now, Aaron Rodgers last year went 2020. So last year he went 368 for 584, 63% completion rating, 3897 yards through the air, 6.7 average, 28 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, with a 90.5 QB rating. So he still has it. And honestly, if you really look at the league as a whole, he performed better than Patrick Mahomes, and everybody still wants to give Mahomes flowers. So I think this is a great signing, obviously, for Pittsburgh. I think, honestly, this probably is going to be the reason why Tomlin and the Steelers have a winning record this year. I think if it was Rudolph or Will Howard, probably was going to be the first losing season, and I think that's why they went with Aaron Rodgers. Got anything to add on this before I give a little bit more about the Will Howard conversation, or what?
No, I'll just touch on it again. I'm really excited about DK.
Or you want to trade him?
No.
Oh, I can give you somebody for him. Do you want him?
Like, to touch on what you were saying, actually, me and Terry were talking about Rodgers last year in New York last week, and it surprised me a little bit. He quietly had a really good year.
Yeah, I think last year everybody felt that he needed to be almost superhuman.
Yes.
Because there was so much hype going into that 23 season, leaving Green Bay, announcing on the Pat McAfee show, which, I mean, from a fan perspective, we don't typically see the LeBron James decision,
Right.
Like, I mean, that was so many years ago that LeBron did his decision. But when you looked at all the hype going into training camp, all the hype going into, preseason and that first game, I mean, I remember watching that game, right? Was it on 9/11 or what? Was it a 9/11 game?
Yes, because he come running out with the flag.
With the flag, I felt so patriotic. I was like, dude, this is going to be the greatest game. And then, what was it, 3 plays in?
3 plays into the
and tore that Achilles. And so I think the expectation was for him to come out on all cylinders. I think the Achilles, even though he came back healthy, I don't think when you come back, even look at Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins is going to be playing on the bench. But I think especially when you're an older player, things like that, injuries like that, end up taking a little bit more time. But Rodgers did have a sneaky good season. So I just want to run this offensive. Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Warren, DK.
Yep.
You have that Robert Woods, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, kind of who's going to be the 2, who's going to be the 3. Then you have Pat Freiermuth as a tight end. I expect great things for the Steelers. Definitely above a 500 record. But, Sean, there is one problem.
What do you got?
Jair Alexander.
Yes.
Now, Green Bay, for whatever reason, we felt the need to let our number 1 cornerback go. Whether it's contract talks, whether it's front office staff not liking Jair, whatever it was, it didn't work in Green Bay. Now, Jair yesterday, Wednesday, signed with the Baltimore Ravens, which
nasty.
That is an absolute nasty. Ravens secondary includes Jair Alexander, was it Marlon Humphrey? Nate Wiggins, was it Jacoby? Oh yeah, Jacoby Awuzie, then Kyle Hamilton and Malik Starks. That is the Ravens secondary.
And they have Roquan Smith on. Their defense is nasty.
Nasty. And Evo said it yesterday, or said it Wednesday on the phone call. He thinks that this makes them a Super Bowl winning team. Do you agree? I know it's way too early. I mean, it may be way too early to make a Super Bowl prediction, but do you think this puts the Ravens as the front runner for the AFC?
I know I was giving him shit yesterday and say he was gaslighting, but I agree with him.
Yeah.
That puts him right there, man.
I think this definitely, in my opinion, this gives the Ravens the opportunity to really cement themselves at number one. I think when you look at the AFC in general, there's all these teams that. Hi, Harper.
Hart. We're
Hart,
recording
We're
here,
recording,
bro.
Harper.
Go on your back.
So the AFC always has these teams: the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs. You know, they have all these powerhouse teams. Even, well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, you got the LA team,
The Chargers.
Dolphins. I mean, the Broncos last year with Bo Nix looked better.
Don't sleep on Denver this year.
But I think this just gives the Ravens such a big edge.
It really solidifies that back end, dude.
Well, and I want to talk about Jair, Humphrey, Wiggins, Awuzie. That's 4 cornerbacks. That is such depth. That's nasty.
And Kyle Hamilton playing
Safety with Malik Starks. Now, I mean, dude, like that's insane. The deal is a 1-year deal, $4 million, having the ability to earn $2 million in incentives, so up to a $6 million max for 1 year.
Right.
Now, this is definitely a play it year for Jair.
Yep.
Could this lead to an extension with the Ravens? Possibly. Is this a let me go ball out on a team that I know is really good defensively, really good offensively, and then maybe he finds himself on a different team in 27?
And I know Lamar had a lot to do with this signing.
Yeah,
Because they were teammates in college, and he told the front office, bring Jair in.
well, and I think the thing to talk about too is not only how much the defense is as a threat, but imagine how much that gives the offense the ability to be a little bit more creative when you have such a loaded defensive, especially over the top. I mean, think about all the plays they're going to be able to run. Maybe they might get a little bit more creative. Maybe they can do a little more RPOs like that. And I mean, and let not even talk about the offense. Like, the offense was ticking so well until they got obviously to
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget they still got Henry,
right?
Flowers, Andrews, Likely. I think Likely overtakes Andrews this year.
I almost feel like that was a. I almost feel like that may be a transition moving forward. Not to say that Andrews is old, but no. I think Likely finds himself to play himself in better situations.
Wait, do you think he gets traded by the deadline?
Possibility. I think this is a make or break it year for Andrews. I think knowing Likely's potential in the tight end slot, I think the Ravens, if the Ravens want to run a 2 tight end system, great. But if they want to move forward with the young youthfulness of Likely, you have to be willing to get rid of Andrews, and it may bite you in the butt, right? You're probably not going to trade to a division. You're definitely probably not going to try to trade to the AFC. You're probably going to try to go to the NFC, which might bite you in the butt in the Super Bowl if you make it there, and he makes it there with whatever team he goes to. But I don't think if you're the Ravens, I think it's a little foolish not to play with the idea of getting rid of Andrews, especially at the top of his ceiling. You're not giving him less targets and likely more.
I mean, it depends on how much they believe in likely. I mean, we could see it happen.
Who knows? I mean, the future and the season is right around the corner, and it'll be very interesting on what happens. All right, Sean, give them some more news. What's happening?
Speaking of the Ravens / Jets longtime linebacker, C.J. Mosley retired.
Yes.
Great player, great linebacker, had a great career.
How many? Do you remember how many years he played in the NFL?
11? I want to say 11.
10 seasons.
10?
After 10 seasons, he amassed 1,083 career tackles. 687 of them were solo tackles. 55 tackles for loss. 12 sacks. 9 fumble recoveries.
Yeah.
5-time Pro Bowler. What an absolute dog.
Awesome career.
I mean, honestly, that's just 10 seasons to rack up those numbers. That's I mean, and split 5 Baltimore, 5 in New York. What a great career he's got. Let's keep her moving, Sean O'Mac.
Right, we got some. Let's go flashback here real quick. We all remember who Henry Ruggs was. First round pick, great potential, coming out of Alabama.
Yeah,
the Raiders drafted him. Unfortunately, got carried away one night, had an accident. Unfortunately, someone passed away. He went to prison. He's been in prison for the past 4 years. He just got released on special privilege, special release.
Hey, well, welcome back to.
One of the first things he did was spoke, and rightfully so, apologized to the family.
Yeah, and
I mean, don't make up for nothing, but
well, and I mean, at least I think after having some time, he probably realized what he did, and you know what? Hopefully, there's might be a second chance. I mean, now there is obviously the U.S. Well, what is it?
XFL,
XFL, USFL, whatever, UFL, whatever it's called.
The Rock owns it.
Yeah. I mean, so there always is opportunities maybe for him to make a way back in the NFL.
He's
but
still young. I
hey,
think he's 24, 25.
he's got time. So what else is happening? In the
So
league?
the next bit of news, I'm going to roll. Actually, 2 stories into one. It's the same team, same position, same side of the ball. And then we go to Cincinnati with the Bengals.
Okay.
We all know their defense is very, very suspect.
Yes.
They didn't help them at all winning games last year. So the sack leader and their top defensive player, Trey Hendrickson, is returning to have talks with the team for a new contract. He's not been there, or talks stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they picked back up. They resumed talks on it. And also, speaking of the Bengals, their first round pick this year, Shamar Stewart. He left mandatory minicamp because he didn't have a signed contract. He's like, I'm done with this. And the reason they didn't sign one is because the Bengals are asking for specific and certain clauses in the contract. So, and he didn't sign it. He's like, I'm out.
So listen, so he can declare for the 26th draft, right? And the only team that can't take him
Is Cincinnati. Yes.
I guess. I mean, kudos to him for actually, sometimes we hear like contract talks after they've been in the league. Like Evo always usually says, "Get back to work" or whatever. Especially if they're holding out, whether they are in their last year of the contract or whatever. But honestly, kudos for him for standing up for what he believes his value is, 1, and 2, not signing something that he knew wasn't going to be the right deal for him. Because, listen, I think it's better for him to either A, find himself and walk onto another squad. Either A, do that. B, hold out and just train all this year and then go back in 26 and try to get drafted to a new team. Because what's the worst that could have happened for him would have been signing the contract, right?
Getting
with
hurt.
these stupid, I don't know if they've ever disclosed what the clauses were.
Yeah,
but
I did not see him. I looked.
But I mean,
Did look.
imagine signing a contract, agreeing to the clauses, and then one of the things that the clauses had said, either A, comes to fruition, or B, throws a whole wrinkle into the coin. Like, I mean, I'm just saying a little hearsay. Like, right, let's just say one of the clauses is if he gets hurt X, Y, and Z, then they are not obligated to pay him
Right.
X amount. Well, I mean, we all know that injuries can happen, whether it's practice or a game. I mean, literally could happen anywhere. And so why would I want to sign on a clause saying that if I get hurt X, I'm not getting paid
Right.
Y?
So essentially, what he's doing, he's protecting himself.
I mean,
But
it's a great idea and it's a great thing for him. I wish nothing but the best for him.
here's where I'm at.
What?
Cincinnati, what are you doing?
I think Cincinnati is finding
You
themselves.
have the offense kept you in games. What didn't keep you in games last year? The defense. And here you got two outstanding players. Well, we know one's outstanding for sure. The other one's a rookie, has to prove himself, but you're not a first-round pick for nothing. And Cincinnati, here's my gripe on Cincinnati. They have always notably been cheap asses.
Well, yeah, they
it comes
just
to
they
paying the
hey,
players.
listen, they finally not even just players.
Until this year.
Not even just players though.
And coaches. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the fact that they're the last team in the NFL to have a enclosed practice facility, and it's just it's essentially just a a tarp dome. Like, it's not even.
forgot about
Listen,
that.
listen. This is a hilarious thing. So, in Northwest Ohio,
Uh-huh.
we have Amazon, right? Amazon went into Rossford and they literally funded a 50-yard indoor turfed practice facility that also has a indoor running track facility, has ability for tennis courts, has golf simulators, has band facilities. Also, in this world and day and age with esports, they have an esports like computer lab that was all funded by Amazon for a high school, let alone the NFL's.
Who is that for?
It's for Rossford. It's over there. If you're off of 795, this is really technical.
By Bass Pro?
Yeah, over there by Bass. Well, a little bit going towards Lake and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's in there. Yeah, dude. So Amazon puts this in for a high school, but the Cincinnati Bengals just put their NFL professional sports team into a quote dome that's not even. It's essentially
all it is a lean-to.
essentially it's like they just put tarp over top and
Cheap
you it up
asses,
and
dude.
called it a day.
It's just like, look at that defense. You want to sign your first-round pick, Shamar Stewart,
Listen.
and you need Trey Hendrickson in there.
Listen, Shamar Stewart, if you're watching this, I probably should cut this for TikTok. It's like at 20 some minutes. Shamar Stewart, if you're listening, call Green Bay because we got rid of Jair Alexander. We've got rid of all these people. We even let another one go. Come be the number one here in Green Bay.
But you know what? I want to touch on Green Bay. They got rid of Jair, but they did move one of their 12 wide receivers to cornerback. And
Yes.
He's doing
Yes.
pretty good, I'm seeing.
Listen, I mean, look, he's doing pretty good. But listen, Shamar Stewart, Xavier McKinney. Listen, Xavier McKinney was on for the first 6 games, wasn't he on an I think he was on an interception every single game for 6 weeks in a
6
row.
weeks.
Yeah, finished with 8 interceptions on the year. That's a duo waiting to
remember that.
happen, man. That's a duo waiting to happen. All right, before I get over like this, and
You're gonna love this next one. This
go
clown's
ahead.
back in the news.
Oh, okay.
For all the wrong reasons.
Oh.
Antonio Brown, Mr. CTE himself, has a warrant out for attempted murder.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Get some
Get
help.
some help.
I don't see this dude is out of his mind.
Listen, I don't.
I don't even want. I can't comment on him. But it's big news.
This is what I'll have to say. In this country, we do have the right for a fair and reasonable trial, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But if he did it, I hope that he gets the penalty that that's warranted for what happened, whether that was him or not. I guess we'll find out in trials and in investigations, and that's
he's out of the country, bro. They can't find that dude anywhere.
Listen, if they
turning rocks, looking back, looking under stuff, looking over stuff, looking here, looking there.
Send Harper, she'll find him. Harper. She's like, you want me to do what?
No, that maybe that's the best thing for that dude to be locked up. And when he is locked up, seek the medical professionals inside there for that brain damage you got going on, because you totally went downhill, dude.
Speaking of CTE, I don't know if you saw this, but Jason Kelsey, was it a couple days ago? Jason Kelsey came out that he thinks he has some CTE.
I didn't see that.
I thought I saw that.
God, I hope not. He don't act like it. That dude, well, maybe.
Let's see. Jason Kelsey reveals health battle and virtually guarantee he has CTE. So hopefully he doesn't.
Hopefully he gets. If he does,
hopefully he gets help.
Early.
Yeah. But what else? What else has happened? I mean, we made it almost a half an hour. What's going down now?
We still got news to go on,
dude.
man.
I know, it's crazy.
This one I didn't quite understand. The Broncos, they signed J.K. Dobbins to a 1-year deal. That's after which I didn't. They have Audric Estime. I feel like he didn't get a fair shot, and they drafted R.J. Harvey this year, speedster.
Yeah, I'm a little upset about this because I did draft Estime in a dynasty league.
Yes.
Because I did think that he was going to be obviously like the future of
but you know what?
The Broncos.
Don't give up on him with Dobbins' injury history, dude. He'll fall right in that 2 spot.
I mean, I think Dobbins shows flashes of success, right? Like last
when
year,
he's healthy, he's a beast, dude.
Last year, the guy had where is it? Played 13 games, 905 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and no fumbles on the year. He also had 32 receptions on 38 targets for 153 yards. And so, I mean...
Wait, do we know how old is he?
J.K. Dobbins is 26.
So fairly young.
So, I mean... unfortunately, he's had, his rookie year, 15 games, then got injured, came back in 22, played 8, came back in 23, 1, injured, found himself on the Chargers last year. I think, was that a pickup early on in the season, or was that before? I think that was before the season even started that he got picked up. So now on the Broncos, hopefully it's better for him this upcoming year. Hi, Harper.
Relax.
Hi. We've been petting you all night long, Harper Darper. So I guess what's the best case scenario for a running back room this full? If you're the running backs in Denver, and you're Estime, who was it they drafted again?
R.J.
Harvey. If you're Harvey,
second round.
Estime.
I don't think this affects Harvey's fantasy value. I would still take him. He's going to be the bell cow.
Okay. Do you think this is more a bell cow, or do you think this is more of a Detroit Lions 2-back system?
I don't think so. Not with Dobbins.
Because speaking of 2-back systems, I don't know if you heard this one. according to our wonderful fans, well, not our fans, but Las Vegas Raiders, had been commenting. It's come out recently that they are in conversations of Genty not being the single back and it being a running back by committee. Do you think that's a?
Who else is there?
I don't know.
Zamir White?
Is it Samir? This is terrible because we have a lot of Raiders fans and we don't even know their running backs.
I think it's Zamir White.
I mean, maybe.
No, I don't care who they have. There's no way. Genty's hands down the bell cow. I'll stop that conversation right now. No way.
You don't think? Do you think it's maybe a ploy?
Ooh, a disguise.
Yes, Zamir White, Raheem Mostert's out there, by the way.
Oh.
And Genty. I think this might honestly be a little bit of a farce, a little bit of kind of, hey, distraction over here because we don't want you to know that Genty is going to be the premier back. Now, does that mean that Zamir White's career is over?
God,
no, I think he still has some value. But listen, I think this is definitely the Genty train, and we should be excited moving forward about the Genty train.
God, I took Zamir White. I was so high on Zamir White.
Well,
last year.
I mean,
but it happens, man.
trade
You
him.
move on.
Listen, trade him to the number 1 pick. Maybe you can get something. He can handcuff the running back position in Las Vegas.
There's no way that's going to be no way that.
No, I'm not.
Raider Nation.
Listen. I'm not saying it's going to be a running back by committee. I'm just saying it handcuffs, right? Because some people handcuff the number 1 and the
always
number
handcuff,
2,
yeah.
right? Maybe the owner of Ashton Genty could see value in having Zamir White as a backup opportunity in case if either A, they end up going to a 2-back system, or B, in the unfortunate scenario that Genty has some time off.
So could the same be said about the situation in Denver? Dobbins is more of a handcuff? Or is Dobbins like just a third down back?
Listen, I think
I watched Harvey. This kid is a 3-down back.
I guess it depends.
We also know a lot of teams want to go to that committee.
Well, I guess the question is how deep is your roster? 1, right, and 2, what benefit do you have? Because with J.K. Dobbins, right, injury prone, injury issues, shows flashes of lightning, but I don't think he could be the cow. I think he'd either. I don't wish injuries upon anybody, but if I'm being honest, I could definitely see injuries being an issue because it was in the past. So you're definitely not going to cow him, as the predominant running back. With Estime, your hope is if you're an Estime fantasy owner,
and they still had McLaughlin. All they got rid of was Williams. They sent him to Javante. They sent him to Dallas.
So I guess, if J.K. Dobbins is on the waiver wire in my dynasty league, I'm not picking him up right now.
Dang it, because I have him. I was going to shoot you a trade.
No, man. Sorry, bud. That's not happening. But I think if you're in a redraft league, it depends on how many. Are you an 8-man league, 10-man league, 12-man league? If you're a 12-man league, we all know 12-man leagues. Sometimes you gotta go scoop at the bottom of the barrel because there ain't nothing left.
Right, I get it.
So maybe in a 12-man league, I do see you maybe going to pick him up in your redraft. But in a dynasty league, maybe if you're a 12-man league in a dynasty, I don't see the value in having J.K. Dobbins. Ironically, I believe I traded you J.K. Dobbins because I noticed some things in J.K. Dobbins that I was like, I don't necessarily want him on my roster right now.
And,
And then, ironically, like any guy that I trade away, he starts to go off as soon as I trade him away. But
I'm going to make note of this. I just got a great idea for a episode we can do. And I'm going to share it with everyone out there. Because I was sitting here as we're talking about running backs and committees and et cetera, et cetera. I just thought of 3 right off the top of my dome that could potentially be committees this year.
okay,
And I think we should do all 32 teams with their running back and their 2 and 3 running back. See if we see a committee. Because I thought of New England with Travion
okay,
and Ramondre.
okay.
I thought of Cleveland. They drafted
Jeez.
Judkins and Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
I thought of the Chargers. Hampton, Najee.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Let us know.
Listen, I don't even know if we need to hear what they think. I think it's a done deal. We need to go into, not right now, but we definitely need to look into
I
that.
will do my homework, and that will be an episode.
I think that'll be a
great
really good
especially
episode.
Now that we're entering fantasy season.
Yeah, that'll be a really, really good
Let's
episode.
go.
What else? Because we're almost 40 minutes in, and I can't believe we took this long. But what else is happening?
So I'm going to roll these 2 into 1. 2 big names. They're not attending mandatory mini camps because they want new contracts, and we know what Brandon would say to that.
Get
your
to
ass
work.
in practice.
Yeah.
So that's T.J. Watt. He's not showing up, and Scary Terry. He's not showing up.
Well, I mean, while I do say, while Evo does say, show up to work and,
Yeah.
You're getting paid to be there, show up. But, I mean, both of these guys, look, I mean, TJ Watt's,
He's well deserving of it.
could this,
He needs to have a new contract, and I think Scary
is
Terry
this,
does too.
could this be TJ Watt's last contract?
Yes.
So, I mean, I definitely understand the TJ Watt more because, listen, this guy's definitely a veteran in the NFL. He, honestly, I mean, you could very well say that TJ Watt holds together the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Without TJ Watt, they have a whole lot of people, right? They have a whole lot of talent there, but TJ is a veteran that provides a whole lot for that team. And Scary Terry, I mean, listen, that Scary Terry
He's deserving of it, dude.
deserves
He is
paid.
quietly one of the top receivers in the league, and he don't get enough credit.
Well, and I think Scary Terry notices what Jaden Daniels is to the Commanders. And because of Daniels' value, has created Terry's value. Not Terry, but Terry McLaurin's. Not Tugboat, but Terry's. He's created more value for himself because of Daniels. And so I feel that you have to ask for more money. Worst thing is they both show up to training camp and they take what they are getting now,
I'm very
it's just-
intrigued by Washington. Because think about it.
Yes.
Scary Terry, when he didn't have a Debo there, was dynamite.
Yeah.
Do we think that with Debo there, with some of the focus having to shift to Debo on defense, I think Scary Terry's just going to go nuts, dude. With a healthy Debo?
I mean, yes. There's a yes and no here, right? Because let's almost in the same way we broke down the Steelers, let's break down the Commanders. Jaden Daniel at quarterback. Marcus Mariota's their backup, by the way. So you got Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler running backs, Scary Terry, Debo, Noah Brown, but then also, and this is Harp. This is ESPN's probably way too early depth charts, but you got Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Michael Gallup as their second strings. You have Zach Ertz, John Bates, And then what I feel is a really good tight end really hasn't been shown.
Sennett?
Ben Sennett. I think he's going to be a good tight
You
end.
have him, preach.
I do. And
On
it's
your
not
taxi.
it's not because he's on my team, but I do believe given the opportunities, he would be a good
Well, I
tight end.
think the majority of us didn't. I think a lot of us thought Ertz was going to be done.
Yes. Which I'm surprised he's not, but maybe Debo there gives him a little bit more years on the roster because now he's not necessarily the focal point or sharing as much workload. But dude, that wide receiver room is between Scary Terry and Debo. That's really good. And then you allow these players like McCaffrey, Brown, Gallup, and stuff to kind of mold themselves into a better wide receiver, learning from two of the greats and two of the guys that are deserving. And listen, they made a really deep playoff run this past year.
Oh,
Who's not
made
to
it
say
to the
that they're
championship game.
who's not to say they're not necessary? I mean, who knows? They could be a Super Bowl, maybe a way too early a Super Bowl favorite, but they're positioning themselves very well.
Yes.
This upcoming season. Now, one last bit of news you got is
another potential
okay.
running back committee.
Where?
Not a committee, but in Houston.
Houston.
They signed Nick Chubb. I don't think he's done, dude.
Listen, so Nick Chubb. So you got what would this be? Nick Chubb
and Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Listen, I don't know. I don't really know what this, because Joe Mixon always from a fantasy perspective, Joe Mixon is always there.
Yes.
He's never a guy that's talked about being one of the great running backs that you need to draft.
Never gets drafted high. Always finishes high.
It's usually always like 9th to 11th all the time. Every year, 9th to 11th, 9th to 11th. Now, Nick Chubb, he's got great upside. But there is also Nick Chubb that has downside too. And so is this listen, I don't know if I'm sold to say this is a committee.
I think Mixon's still the lead dog.
Joe Mixon is 28.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
I think Chubb is
Nick
too.
Chubb, right? Nick Chubb is 29.
29.
So, from a running back perspective, you have two guys that are getting older, aging. Honestly, I don't know if I could say that this is a committee.
It's not.
I think this is more of less
both
of.
were a little bit younger.
I think this is an opportunity for Nick Chubb to be slotted in as a backup role in case if Mixon has issues. Listen, 16 games, his rookie season, 996 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's one time in the 1,500 club, and that was in 2022. 1525, 12 touchdowns. He's been in the, he went 14, 1,000, 1,200, 15, and then 2 games and 8 games in the past 2 years. I don't think you can, in the same vein as J.K. Dobbins, may show flashes of light.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think in the way this competitive in the league is so competitive, I don't know if you can essentially take 2 years off and come to a new team and expect to be the committee role. I don't think that happens, and I think Joe Mixon has proved himself time and time again to be a very solid running back.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
and come fantasy drafts, he's never talked about as like one of the top guys, but he always is. He finishes always near the. He's a great fantasy
listen,
player.
Joe Mixon, 2023, 1,034 yards, 9 touchdowns. Last year in Houston, 1,016 yards, 11 touchdowns. Listen, this guy is really, only played 14 games in 2022. Still brought in 814 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Right.
21. He was 1,200 yard guy with 13 touchdowns. Only played 6 games in COVID year. 428 with 3 touchdowns. 2019, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns. 1,100 yards in 2018, 8 touchdowns. He's just constant. He's steady. And I just think that's going to be the same thing moving forward in 25 in Houston. I think it's a helpful addition. You hope that C.J. Stroud comes out of.
I think he bounces. CJ's gonna bounce back
out of that sophomore slump.
Especially they spent 2 high picks on 2 very young, athletic, fast receivers.
Well, and I mean, you've got Nico. I mean, you have old man Christian Kirk. You've got Tank Dell. Then you have Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel.
Yeah. That's why I think Kirk's out of the picture now.
Right. So, I mean, you have those young guys coming into the fold. Schultz, Brevin Jordan, and Cade Stover. Duh. The real number 1, Cade Stover from the Ohio State University. I know. You don't like that.
I just thought of 2 more teams.
What?
With the running back.
Well, hey, let's save it for a different episode. All right.
That's all the news I got, man. I'm sure there was other stuff, but
listen,
that's off top of the dome. If we missed anything, sorry, let us know.
I guess let's save some OTA news for maybe next week.
Fantasy season is among us.
I want to test your ball knowledge and your stadium knowledge because you've been to how many stadiums have you been to?
8.
8 stadiums. All right. Can you tell me what the largest capacity stadium is?
Oh, wow.
It's 82,500. It opened in 2010.
Is it Atlanta?
No, 2010.
I have no idea, dude.
All right.
2010.
2010. This stadium has hosted a Super Bowl. No? Really? All right.
Have I been there?
No.
Outside stadium?
Outdoors.
Oh. Outdoors. And they hosted a Super Bowl.
All right. Field turf.
Is it the MetLife?
It is MetLife.
Ugh.
All right. Second.
Shanky ass grass they got out there hurting everybody.
Second stadium. 81,441, according to this article. It is an open air stadium. It has never hosted a Super Bowl.
Is it Buffalo?
No. I'm actually quite surprised that this is actually labeled this high.
Really?
Yes.
Cincinnati?
No.
I don't know, man.
It is a grass field. So I don't know how many grass fields there actually are in the NFL, but it is a grass field. It's an older stadium.
Is it Pittsburgh?
No. Any more guesses?
No, man. I think I won't know it. This is hard. I think it'd be more interesting just to go down the list.
All right. So it is actually Lambeau Field. 81,441. Do you want me to just go through the list? Or?
I do.
Okay.
Now I'm intrigued.
All right. So third on the list, which I thought this was more than what it actually is, but it has AT&T Stadium listed in third place at 80,000. Fourth place is Arrowhead at 76,416. Mile High Stadium 76,125. Which then Bank of America, that one, I mean, it kind of is almost, well, it's not Arrowhead, but it's kind of got a little bit design kind of style of Arrowhead. And Mile High at 74,867. Then you have Superdome at 73,000. NRG at 72. So Highmark, so the Bill Stadium right now is 72,220.
Yeah, but they're gonna know.
I don't know what that new one is. Let's go. What's the smallest stadium? Soldier Field at 61.
No, I've been there, dude. There's like 1 million people there for a game.
All right, so this one's interesting because obviously they've taken seats out and containers, but Commander Stadium is 62,000 even. That's kind of interesting that.
Oh, we're the third lowest?
State Farm? No, that's the Cardinals,
okay,
bud.
Sorry. I don't have my glasses on.
You are in the middle of the pack at 68,500. Tampa. Okay, you've been to Tampa, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you guys sat behind the ship, right? Is Tampa a stadium where how was your sight lines in the corner and zone down low? Perfect. Do you think that's a stadium like up in the upper deck? Okay, must see. Have you ever been to Indianapolis Colts Stadium?
I have.
Where did you sit?
Way up high.
Way up high.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all we can get tickets for.
So now I'm not.
You were just there last year.
No, a couple of years ago. I've only been to Ford Field and then Lucas Oil, so I haven't been really to a lot of places. But
that's the Colts Stadium.
Yeah. So I've been there and I've sat up. Probably, I think 3 rows from the top was the first time I went in the end zone. While it's high, the sight lines for that stadium, perfect.
Yeah.
Sat in the upper deck 5 rows up, or 5 rows from the bottom. Great seats. So if you ever get a chance to go to Lucas Oil, go for it. I would love to go to a couple stadiums in my lifetime. Obviously, Lambeau is one of them. I would absolutely love. It sounds weird, and when's their new the Jaguars? When's their new stadium?
Couple years, isn't it?
I want to get one of. Oh, I want to go and you know how they have the swim up like the pools, the
They
pool
have that
deck.
now.
Yeah, I want to go there and go into the pool deck.
You know what?
Just to watch a game. Like, I mean, it sounds stupid, but
No,
like
I'm
that.
with you
That's
there.
kind of one of the cool.
It gets
like,
hot as hell
it's a
down there.
unique thing that you can do. I would love to go see. It's weird because I don't want to. I want to go to the new Buffalo Bills Stadium.
So do I.
I think that's going to be a great stadium. I would love to go to. I don't like to say it because I don't want to go to Arrowhead, but I feel like that's probably just one of the places you kind of have to go.
Just like Soldier Field.
Just-
All the
I
history
mean,
and just.
I just think with a team
I
that
hate the Chiefs, and I'm dying to go there.
a team that's been this successful, historic stadium, it'd be a really great place to go. I don't know if I'd want to go to the Superdome. I feel like that's.
Oh, you'd want to.
I don't know. I feel like that's a stadium like either near nor there. I'd kind of want to experience Philly just to see how bad the Eagles fans actually are. Going in as
I've never been there, but I've heard
unbiased,
stories.
as an unbiased fan, like I definitely probably wouldn't want to go when there's a Packers game there, but just maybe as an unbiased fan to see what it's all about. You've been to Levi's Stadium, right?
Yes.
Have you been to Levi's?
No.
Did you go back when it was that old Candlestick Park? No? All right. Well, we got to get out to San Francisco then, I guess. All right. Oh, What about Pittsburgh Steelers? Heinz Field, because
No.
we ain't calling it Acrisure. It's Heinz Field. Got to get out there.
I do want to.
Have you been to Gillette Stadium?
No, I want to.
What about, Hard Rock?
Tennessee?
No, Stadium. No, that's Rocky Top. Oh. Listen. Oh, Terry would be singing Rocky Top will always be home sweet home to me.
I know of anyone in this world, Tugboat wants that Watt deal to get done.
Oh, Tugboat definitely wants that Watt deal to get done. And honestly, if it doesn't get done, wait, no, what are we saying? There's no way it's not getting done. It's getting done. It's just when it happens.
It'll be right before the season starts.
Because I mean, okay, I know we left that to get on this, but now we're back to that.
That was interesting.
Let's go to TJ for a second. This is a win-win. Because, listen, TJ's still training on his own because he's not going to minicamp. He's not doing all that stuff. But now you're also preserving a man who's getting older from injuries. We all know they're probably going to make a deal with him. I mean, there's no reason not to. So he's going to get what he wants. You're preserving a guy from getting injured. And then he shows back up, and it's like nothing ever happened. So deal's getting done.
It's going to get done.
All right. Anything else on the docket tonight there, bud?
No, I just want to reiterate one thing.
What?
Hang in there. Fantasy season.
Dude, fantasy season is right around the corner. We got some great things coming up here.
I just thought of another team.
What?
The running back.
You know what? Do we want to do this next week? Let's do it. Next week, we'll do the running backs
and
handcuffs episode on running back by committee. And then we're working on a special 4th of July episode on the history of the NFL. Because, listen, boys, listen, girls, it is 4th of July, and we are dropping an episode on Friday the 4th.
Wait, can we...
What?
Can we blow up fireworks live to open up the pod?
I don't know if we can do that.
Oh.
I mean, it'd be really sick, but I don't know if we have... It might get to that later. But anyhow, Sean O'Mac, take him away.
I'm Sean O'Mac.
I'm Preacher. And always remember, if you're Green Bay, you can get rid of your number 1 cornerback because you got a room full bunch of 2s. This is your week.